Hey Math Aces! Welcome to Mr. Ace Math. In this video, we're going to take this algebraic expression and simplify it as much as we can. The first thing we should do is start by breaking up our algebraic expression into its separate parts called terms. The best way to do that is by drawing a line at the front of the expression, like this. A line at the back of the expression, like this, and then drawing a line in front of any plus or minus signs. So we have a minus sign here, so I'll drop a line in front of that. I see a plus sign here, so I'll drop a line in front of that. I see a minus sign here, so I'll drop another line in front of that. And a plus sign here, so I'll drop a line in front of that. And the last thing I need to do is just seal the box up by drawing a line across the top and a line across the bottom. And what we've just done is separated our expression into these separate things called terms. Now the question is, which terms can be combined? We can only combine terms that are called like terms. That means they have the same exact variable and exponent. And what I like to do when I'm simplifying expressions is I like to make this thing called a term table. I'll start by seeing how many different letters I have. I have the letter R and I have the letter Q. That's two separate letters, so I'll have two columns for that. And the rest of the terms are just numbers called constants, so I'll have a column for that. So that makes a total of 3 columns. One column for our R terms, one column for our Q terms, and one column for our constants. And the term table will look something like this. So here's the term table. In this column, I'll write in all of my Q terms. In this column, I'll write in all of my R terms. And in this column, I'll write in all of my constants. Our first term is 20. And because there's no sign in front of it, it's automatically positive 20. And since it's a constant, I'll put it in the constant column right over here. Positive 20. So we're done with that term. Let's cross it off and then move on to the next one. Negative 11R. That's an R term, so we'll put it in the R column. Negative 11R. We're done with this one. Let's cross it off and go to the next term, which is positive 7. That's a constant, so I'll put it in the constants column. Positive 7. We're done with that term, so we can cross it off and go to the next term, which is negative 13. So we'll put negative 13 here in the constants column and then cross it off in our expression. And finally, we have positive 5Q. That's a Q term, so it'll go in the Q column. And then we'll just cross it off in our expression. Now that we have our term table filled, all we have to do is focus on each of our columns and then bring down our answer into the bottom of the column itself. So in this column here, we've got positive 5Q. There's nothing to combine it with, so we can just bring it down. Positive 5Q. Our next column is the R column. There's nothing to combine negative 11R with, so we'll just bring that down as well. Negative 11R. And in our constants column, we have 3 terms we can combine. We've got positive 20 and positive 7. When we combine that, that gives us positive 27. And now we just need to combine positive 27 with negative 13. That's like saying you have $27, but you owe someone 13. We have more than we owe, so that means our answer is going to be positive because we'll have money left over. And how much money will we have left over? If we have $27 and owe someone 13, after we pay back the 13, we'll still have $14 left over. So that's positive 14. So these three terms are going to make up our final answer. And there are quite a few ways to write our simplified expression. One way to write our simplified expression is exactly the way it shows here. We could have positive 5q, negative 11r, and positive 14. Now keep in mind that when you read them as separate terms, they're positives and negatives, but as an expression, we read them as plus and minuses. So this would be 5q minus 11r plus 14. Another thing to keep in mind is we don't need to put the plus sign in front of the 5q. Because it's the first term in our expression, it's automatically positive. So let's just take that out. We could also write it with the r term first. And if we did that, we could write negative 11r followed by positive 14 followed by positive 5q. These expressions are equivalent because even though we wrote them in different places, it still contained the same exact terms. Both contain positive 5q, positive 14, and negative 11r. We could even write it another way. We could write it with the constant first. We could write it as 14, then positive 5q, then negative 11r. And as an expression, we would read it as 14 plus 5q minus 11r. Do you see any other ways to write the expression? If you do, put it in the comments below. I'll go over one more. So let's put our r term first. I'll put negative 11r first again, but this time I'm not going to go to positive 14. I'll put 5q next. Negative 11r plus 5q plus 14. And that would still work because, again, it still contains the same exact terms as all of our other expressions. The terms are negative 11r, positive 5q, and positive 14. It doesn't matter the order. Any of these answers is technically acceptable because they all contain the same exact terms, which makes them all equivalent simplified expressions.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Questions? Comments? Leave them down below.
And thanks for using Mr. Ace Math. Don't just pass math, ace it.